Today, I heard a girl in my class talking to a classmate saying, well, they should just give us our land back in reference to deportation. I look over, this girl is white and blonde. The whole nobody is illegal on stolen land argument is bullshit. First of all, not one single place, not one single city, country, anything on this earth is owned by its original owners. Second of all, the part of Mexico that is now the US was bought. Third of all, the Native American land that was stolen was conquered, which is kind of just how the world worked at the time. And by the way, Native American tribes conquered land from each other. So I don't see you talking to other Native Americans saying, oh, you should give your land back to that tribe, because you don't care. If no one is illegal on stolen land, just go to North Korea, see how that theory holds up. Go there with no papers. You'll probably be stuck there forever if you're not killed. No one is illegal on stolen land, but I'm gonna call the cops when you're on my lawn. Additionally, every single nation on this earth, there is not a single one that does not practice deportation. And the only country with people that are whining and complaining about it for whatever reason is the US. I just think it's absolutely wild that Democrats are living in the United States of America and all they want to do is divide. All they think about is race. That's all they think about. They see people supporting deportation and automatically assume, oh, so you hate Mexicans? Babe, why do you think Mexicans are the only people being deported? That's on you for that assumption. If you don't want to live in a safe country, go ahead. We'll let anyone in. We won't do background checks. We won't kick anyone out. See who comes in. See who comes in and takes advantage of us, because deportation is how we keep our country safe. And no, I'm not saying that all illegal immigrants are unsafe. Most of them are very good people. But what I am saying is you cannot just let hundreds of thousands of people into this country without any background checks, any vetting, anything. You guys scream, oh, guns should be harder to get in. Yeah, they should, but you don't think that it should be hard to get into the country. Make it make sense.
We can only hope that our young people are beginning to wake up and see this foolishness, just like you saw that young girl spouting some incredible truths. Welcome to the program, folks. Today we're going to talk about the UN's going bankrupt, but at the same time in our country, the Democrats are fighting to save the right for illegals to vote in our elections. It's true. It's true, and it's upside down. Today's program is brought to you by the fine folks at Goldco. Here's what I'm asking you to do. Go to jovanlovesgold.com. Request your free gold and silver kit today, because now is the time to protect your money with gold and silver. Folks, you've been watching what's going on with gold and silver. Imagine where you would have been when I started telling you this, when gold was less than $1,500 an ounce and it shot to over $5,000. But this is not about investing. This is about CYA. Yeah, cover your ass. If you haven't requested your free gold and silver kit today to just understand how this works and why you should do it, especially if you have a retirement account, please go to jovanlovesgold.com and request your free kit today. Okay, few things, few little bit of housekeeping. Yeah. You know, we're headed into the midterms. And I've told you, if you've paid attention, we're headed into the midterms, right? It's a year plus after our general election put President Trump back in, and the system has already raised Kamala up to 75 million votes. How does that happen when she ended with 68 million? It's because it's all broken. It is. It's totally broken. I've shared some stuff with you. I hope you're paying attention regarding the critical infrastructure and what could be done. I sure hope you're sharing all of that information along with using the hashtag. This is key. Hashtag burn the voter rolls. We can get this trending. We can make a difference. You can talk directly to President Trump. Speaking of that, you know, it's election season. As it heads into the midterms, you know, where governors, senators, and stuff like that. Check this little piece out from Georgia.
Mommy, why did you name me Brad? Well, when you were first born, I thought to myself, how can my son spend his years doing almost nothing? I named you after Brad Ravensburger. He did side with Stacey Abrams against President Trump, though. Turned on his own kind. Now he wants to be governor. I can only hope you'll do so precious little with your life. My second name choice was Judas.
Brutal. Brutal. But it's that time of year. One other point of reference. We're headed into another Super Bowl. And I would appreciate if you just hear me out on this one. Because I'm going to share something with you regarding timing that most people never think about. Okay? Massive controversy, you're seeing all this protesting for ICE and, get rid of ICE and all this other stuff. By design, Roger Goodell, NFL, is having Bad Bunny, who's Puerto Rican, and of course at the Grammys, I don't watch, did all the ranting about ICE and nobody's illegal. And you're seeing all that stuff from Billie Eilish and whatever her name is and all that. I want you to consider one thing. None of this madness in sports holding this political crap up, and I don't think the two go together, but none of it will stop until you understand how much power you hold. And I'm going to give you an example. The reason all of this is done in sporting events and NFL is to move people because they know people are going to be there. They're not buying an ad where they don't think people are going to see it. They're buying an ad because they know people are going to see it. And this is what I call a come to Jesus meeting, folks. So I want you to understand how all of this mess works. If you let's say you don't even want to watch Super Bowl. I'm not, I don't, I protest. I'm not. A long time ago, I stopped with Colin Kaepernick. I stopped. Not going to do it because I understand how the money flows. So let's say you're one not to watch NFL or Super Bowl, but you want to tune in just real quick to see who this Bad Bunny is, Puerto Rican pop star or whatever. And now he says he's going to perform an address. It's kind of like the 10-second rule, right? Dropping the bologna on the floor kind of thing. You heard about parents. The moment you tune in just to peek, you have counted. The moment you supersede the 4-second mark, you're counted. I just want you to understand that. So even if you have the morbid train wreck curiosity, just to see who the hell this Bad Bunny is, and is he going to wear a dress? You're paying their paychecks. Conversely, on the other side, the only way to actually vote for this kind of crap not to happen is you're going to have the true discipline not to watch. Now, I know this is an interesting one, but listen. The system knows you're going to watch. The system knows that most people care more about a football game than they care about the condition of their country. Most people have been trained that there's nothing you can do to change this situation, so fuck it all. They know that. And I want you to understand that. They know that most people will not choose saving their country over something as simple as a football game. And then you say, well, I'm not going to watch the whole thing. I just told you, the moment you tune in and it hits that dial, however you choose it, they count it. The moment you're there more than 4 seconds, you're counting as a viewer. They got the numbers. It doesn't matter. They get paid. You want to do damage. You want to stop this crap from going on. You're going to have to not even tune in. not even peek, not even look at the train wreck, not even tune in to see what the score is. Hang out online. Watch as other people say things. But the moment you hit that box, and that's whether you hit a stream on your device or on your TV or whatever, the moment your device goes to that original broadcast, you've paid them. They've won. If you want to see this work, and this is such a shame for people who play pro ball, and I have many friends that not only played pro ball, but played in the Super Bowl. And it's a shame they worked their asses off, but they have to deal with this crap. But you're the only one that matters. I just want you to think about that. It's mere seconds. It's mere seconds. You've played the game and you have rewarded them. Do you think if people really understood we were losing our country, that they would stand down for a singular day from a big event to send the big FU to the NFL and not get caught on the morbid side of me? Oh, I gotta see what the score is. Is that more important than our country? Or is it more important to break their grip and hold on us? Just a question. Just a question I want you to think about. People never really think about that. But your eyeballs are what they're paying for. And without your eyeballs, they have nothing. I want you to think about that. Okay, we're going to talk about the UN. We're going to talk about the Dems trying to save illegals. It's a fight out there, folks. It is. Share this. Let's get started right after this.
Warning. The following program has been rated Dilligaff and is intended for open-minded audiences. If the truth offends you, or if you are allergic to focused intensity, intellectual athleticism, or the occasional F-bomb or even irreverent humor, please switch off now. If your delicate sensibilities need to be worried about or addressed, might we recommend the Underwater Basket Weaving channel to you? Otherwise, sit back, enjoy the wisdom, insight, and wicked sense of humor.
Cut the crap. How many times a day do you want to say that to politicians, the elite, the loony liberals, the fake news media, and the gender-confused, emotional socialist snowflake crowd? Cut the crap is your secret weapon for fighting for our freedoms and our great republic. It all begins with a massive mental enema, freeing you from the toxic news and politically correct views, which constipate your consciousness with stinking thinking. Your host, Jovan Hutton Pulitzer. He's known for calling out politicians and telling them to cut the crap. You've seen him on virtually every television network and listened to him on Coast to Coast Radio. And now he's here to help you learn to fight for America. Culture, race, and American politics. They all have one thing in common. They all need to cut the crap. Now, here's your host, Jovan Hutton Pulitzer.
Okay, folks, here we go. The UN is going bankrupt. Why is it going bankrupt? Because President Trump in the United States said, we are not going to fund you. Especially when the United States was funding the majority of it. And there were other countries not paying their way. But once one person of consequence stood up and said, screw you, we're not playing this game, it gave courage to a certain amount of the other 193 countries that are out there. Everything begins with people standing up. Everything. One quick thing. Today, mark your calendar, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I am going to be doing the Integrity in Action call, the Election Integrity in Action call with Steve Stern, who's a great guy. Love Steve Stern. A few things you should know. I normally do not do these gatherings. And the reason I do not do these gatherings is because you'll have 50 people on, 10 minutes apiece, promoting their little ideas, not teaching anybody. And for me personally, that's not effective use of my time. I want to teach. And so I have two rules with it. I'll either do the whole session or I'll do the majority of the session, but that's how I'll spend my time, because we have to teach Americans what happens, how it happens, and how it's done to us. Because if you don't know how it's done to us, you don't know how to fight against it. So in this call, I'm going to be doing a 45-minute session right off the start. And if you have a computer, which you do, you're tuning in, you have some sort of computer at home, I am going to teach you how to detect nefarious and potential illegal actions in elections, past elections, current elections. All it takes a simple, spreadsheet program. I'm going to show you what to pay attention to. You enter them into a spreadsheet program. And if you can get a hold of your cast vote records, and there's people that store on their websites cast vote records, various cities, various states, various counties, you can pull them down. And if you want to put in the time to enter some basic information, I'm going to show you something that if you discover it, if it's actually happening in the area that you're inputting, it sticks out like a sore thumb and it will smack you up the side of the head. And you'll kind of see just how bad our elections are. We do it on a very sophisticated basis with high-end computers. I'm going to teach you how to do it manually yourself. But it will reveal where the nefarious actions are. And when you see them, then you're able to understand, oh, this is maladministration, and you're able to ask questions. But it is a future forward and backwards. I mean, as far as you can get the data, go back in time, you can start plotting this. If you have the patience to do it and you just enter it in. Not every one of them are like Maricopa with 2 million ballots. Your little county might be 50,000 ballots. But if you just want to learn for yourself how to do it, if you just want to understand what to look for and how it is, and I am not saying fraud, I chose my words carefully. I'm saying how to look at it in a manner that you can detect if there is maladministration going on that's leading to malfeasance, which is basically horrible, nefarious actions. That's what I'm going to be teaching. It's going to be a very compact, here it is, here's why, here's how you do it. You're going to want to be able to take notes, but I'm going to lay it out to you and I'm going to teach. So that's today at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay? 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to learn how to do some of this and you want to kind of put your time into the country. Very easy. I'm telling you, easy freaking peasy. And it's the easiest stuff, by the way. It's the easiest stuff. Right? To do if you're willing to put in the time. Okay, here's the deal with the UN. So President Trump walked away from the UN. When I say walked away, basically said, we're not funding you. And so just recently, the UN secretary, and understanding how the UN works, if you kill women and children, they appoint you to the head of the Protecting Women and Children Commission. It's just like this typical government shit. They cover for each other. The United Nations, and let's see, we had them a long, long time ago. They used to be the League of Nations. We've already gotten rid of them before. And so it was the League of Nations, and they were reduced and gotten rid of, and the same infection came back, and they called themselves the second time around the United Nations. It's our enemies and the enemies of our allies that run this and do it. And it's kind of like giving Ruby Freeman in Georgia the Presidential Medal, Ruby Freeman, the Presidential Medal of Freedom. It's all lipstick and rouge. It's all cover. And so that's why they have the United Nations. It's just a big rape/pillage crap and cover it well. I can't be bad. I run the Commission on Fair Elections. Yeah, I know I'm in Venezuela. You understand what I'm saying? That's how they do it. So the Secretary General admits that the countries, there's 193 countries, the countries are not coughing up their membership fees. God bless you, countries, and I hope you stand your ground. Why is this? Because with the WF and the UN, this is where they've been trying to write laws that usurp our American laws, that say they have power over us. It's this one world government crap. So you hope they collapse. In those 193 countries, they pay annually billions of dollars in mandatory contribution. It's a membership club. It's a membership club. And then you get appointed and you get to sit there at the UN in New York. You get to sit there in the big round circle, right? And talk about it. Now, this is, in my book, in my opinion, big money laundering organization. And it allows them to signal that they're good and virtuous, and oh, we're great, and oh my goodness, I ran such good people, and those evil Jews have to be eradicated. Yes, that's what happens. Although you hear American broadcasters saying that shit now. Anyway, the Secretary General Guterres is saying we've got an imminent crisis and that the UN will be bankrupt, meaning not having enough money to pay for all of its programs because a certain number of the 193 countries are not paying their dues. This would be one of the best things that could ever happen to our world, to deliver a death knell to this globalism. Now, of course, lesser countries that they hold up and have evil dictators that they claim are great, wonderful leaders, they're going to want to stay in. So it's going to kind of be this fight, right? It's going to be this fight. But for Americans, we've been wasting our money, billions, for a very, very long time. And in my opinion, it's just appeasing criminal regimes. That's all it is. Anything to undercut the United States, right? Anything to undercut the United States. So the numbers are backing off. For the first time in history, they're falling short, pushing 30%. That's a big deal. They're falling short. It will stop a lot of their programs. These are the ones that say, oh, we send in food. It's kind of like elections, right? Your right is to cast your ballot. But there's something missing in casting your ballot. In most states, the actual right you have to vote, I know this is disgusting, but pay attention. You technically only have the right to cast a vote. What does that mean? You have the right to mark a ballot and to drop it in an election box. That's your right. Conspicuously missing from that is the right for your ballot to be counted and to be counted as you cast it. Did you know that? Only one state, which ironically is California, has in their state constitutions cast and count. Isn't that sickening when you really think of it and you understand how much words matter in everything we do? When it comes down to it, you only have the right to cast a vote. To cast a vote. That's like you can go stick them in all these freaking boxes you want and we'll gather them up, but it's actually not a law that we have to count them. Yeah, it's that bad. There's so much that I would rewrite in our elections. It's just riddled with loopholes that they design it to win this way. On purpose. Right? They design it to win this way on purpose. And so few people pay attention. It goes back to my Super Bowl analogy. Oh, I just want to see the score. Boom, they got you. They know most people do not have the patience and the discipline to pay attention, to look at the fine print, to look at the words, to understand how it works. And casting your vote only means you've got to deposit it somewhere. That's it. But see, you fill in the blanks. You think casting your vote means it was counted. That's our fault. You think when they say we're going to do a recount, they're recounting the votes, not the receipts. We had 1,000 machines. We get a little receipt from each of them. Do we have 1,000 receipts? Oh, we do. Hey, we recounted the ballot. That's how the system works. I try very hard in my job and position, and it's a job I assumed, to try to show you these things, to try to open your eyes to these things. And it's just like the Super Bowl. I didn't watch the Super Bowl. Okay, did you at least tune in real quick to see Bad Bunny in a dress? Well, I did. Boom, you watched it. Because that's how the digital system works and counts it. That's why they do all that stuff. That's why they do all their hooks. That's why they'll put one act you may like and one act you hate. Because even if you go for the act you like, they get the number. They got you. Even if you didn't watch Bad Bunny, and even if you didn't watch a second of the game. Oh, by the way, if you just watch for the cool creative commercials, well, I got to at least see the funky ass commercials. It's all a trap. You want to save your nation? Sit on your freaking hands and stay away from it completely. But that's what they inherently know people will not do. Just like these countries, 195 countries. The bad countries that are killing people and murdering people and blowing up people and beheading people will put pressure on the other countries that say, I don't want any of this shit anymore. Well, you're not a good person. You're not part of the UN. It's all a pressure and a shaming structure. Pressure and shaming structure, right? There's been some new rules with the UN about unspent money, etc. They were forced to give like $227 million back. How often does that happen? I think if the UN does go down, it would be one of the best things that could ever happen to the globe, because it's all politics. And there's only one thing that fuels politics: money. And the money predominantly comes from us because they keep us stupid and in the dark. We go into the system, but the systems are, right, big players, and they want it. Ironically enough, it was Britain and Germany that have reduced the most. We were the big payers. But I hope, among all hopes, that this does come to fruition. It would begin a good step globally to cleaning this up. However, we would have to try to be aware of what's going to take its place. We've been here before. Got rid of it once, knew it was bad, came back under a different name. That happens all the time, right? All the time. So if I was to mash all this together, until the people of the world really understand just how fast this crooked system operates, and you understand you have the power. Let's just say that a Super Bowl runs over the course of 8 hours, hypothetically, 8 hours. Between all the pre-show, post-show, and all that other stuff. It's kind of like asking somebody, do you believe in our great country enough? Do you believe that we've got to get rid of the socialism? We've got to get rid of these sanctuary cities. We've got to get rid of our just borders busting over. We've got to get these illegals out. We got to fix our elections. It kind of comes down to a very simple question. Can you control your shit for 8 hours? I want you to think about how sobering that is. Then I want you to think on an intellectual standpoint. You might be a big sport addict, but I want you to understand something. I truly believe the United States of America is the greatest country on earth, even though they're trying to take it from us. It is the land of opportunity. But when an average citizen cannot control themselves for just 8 hours, what does that say about us as a nation? When it's more important to see your favorite team, the coolest commercial, the great halftime show, let them be entertained. They don't care. There's a freaking 100 hooks in there to get you. And because you don't understand, it's hooks. It's the worst treble hooks in the world. It's like dragging hundreds of yards of all these fishing line threads with billions of treble hooks, and it's just to hook you in because they don't care about you. They just need to be able to digitally record the eyeball. That's all they need. That's all they need. The sponsors want to know the eyeballs were there. Now, they use these little bitty tricks. They only need you to tune in a little bit, and they get to count you because you tripped the counter. And then what happens? The ad agencies and the companies go, look at all these viewers. And it's only because we couldn't control ourselves. You can be, and probably are, thoroughly disgusted at the NFL. Thoroughly disgusted at the meat puppet known as Roger Goodell. Thoroughly disgusted that every value that is American, they've been steadily destroying and rewarding Goodell to do it. And you want change, and you want change, and you want it to stop, and you want it to stop, and they laugh all the way to the fucking bank because they know you can't control yourself. You don't have that much discipline. Because chances are, even if you say you're not going to watch, you're going to tune in real quick. I want to see what the score is. They got you. You tuned in. That's how weak they have made us. That's how Pavlov dogs, they have trained us. If you don't want this shit, stop funding it. Take your money out of the system. The ad agency can't buy the ad for the company trying to sell the product, for the product to be on the Super Bowl, for the Super Bowl to have it. It's your money. But you pay for it in mere seconds at a time. And look how many people, especially people that love football, rah, tough guys sitting back, I'm going to kick these liberals' asses. Well, what if it did break out to an Antifa war? And Antifa says they're going to kill all the conservatives and they get ready. The NFL going to run a special game. You're going to sit on your fucking ass to watch the game because it'll be more important. That's what it is. It's a drug. It's a psychotic drug. And people don't understand the cause and effect. For me, I don't even tune in. I don't want to see it. None of my devices will go on it. I don't tune in. And I haven't done that since the capper prick scenario. That's how bad I am. Way back when, when France didn't stand with the United States of America against Iran and wouldn't send their troops in, I stopped buying everything French. What has that been, 30 years? That's how hardcore I am. But you got to have more people do it. You got to understand cause and effect. And they drop out the dopamine. They drop out the little bitty stuff, the promos, the flashing lights, the glitzy shit, the big promos. Why? Because it works. Oh shit, this is going to be big. Going to see the New England Patriots when New England people predominantly are controlled by Democrats and hate conservative values. Well, it's going to be the Seahawks, the very city that wants to get rid of the police and lets Antifa live in the fucking streets. It's money. It's money. Now, why are they getting money? More watchers, more stuff, more money, recruit the players, concentrate them in the city. Do you understand how they're still concentrating you on the very cities that destroy us? Ever thought about that? They get more money, can buy more talent. You're going to go to where you get the bigger contract, but good red, white, or blue America many times gets left out. And my God, are we thugs now or what? Let an NFL player pray out in the open, they are villainized. Let an NFL player have 80 baby mamas and shoot somebody, it's great. It's all the same racket, folks. If you don't believe it's a racket, go backwards in time and look at some of the famous pop and rap stars. Look at when they began, how normal they looked. Look at what the system turned them into because they want a particular type of thug audience. You can, again, most people never see the signs. Never see the signs. Ever. And that's the system we live in. I know a lot of people don't like hearing this, but this is it. And you might want to sit there and you might just want to fucking cry. Don't cry. Understand your incredible power. See, that's what it is. It's all designed to crush us because we feel so small. But when you understand the system needs us to feel small, the system needs us to feel like we have no say because it's the only way they control us. But I'm going to tell you what, the fucking system's terrified of us. And again, you don't see the signs. Why do they suppress social media reach? Why do they suppress speech? Because you're so little and small and you don't make a difference? No, it's the opposite. Because you are the only thing that makes a difference. But people can't even see the signs that you have the power. Think about that. We are the giants. We are the winners. We are the people that move the system. We are. They batter us only through media in believing we don't matter. When I can show you, I can show you this, back when we're really fighting in Arizona for the audit. And Bernovich, who is deceased, did nothing. Well, he thought he was going to run for the Senate in Arizona. When those rankings came out, I think he was at 77%. He was going to be the next senator. Two double handfuls of people from this broadcast got together and said, fuck that. And all they did was focus on Barnabich, hammering them in social media, hammering it with truth, made a daily commitment, sometimes hundreds of times, a daily commitment to keep the truth out in front of the people of how bad that dude was. And it took 2 weeks. And in 2 weeks, he was at 17%. He barely came in third in a race of 4. And yes, a few weeks back, rather mysteriously, but certainly very sudden, died of a heart attack. But I want you to know, a few handful of people decided to accept the power, did it, and ran his ass into the ground and ended his political career. Now, yes, Mark Barnabich, former Attorney General, is dead. He died. I just think stuff is heating up. My own personal theory. And various people didn't want him to be a liability. My own personal theory. But it's you that have the power. And again, if you don't believe it, go to the other side. 10 women, half of them with dongs, dyed hair, radicals, sit around. They target $1 billion company. We don't like what you said. We don't like what you did. You are bad. They just target them, hand them. What happens to the company? Oh, we're so sorry. They change their ass. They take something out, and then they'll make a $20 million donation to the charity that those people say we want the money to go through. It's a profitable business, and it only takes a few people to do it. It's the same theory. It is the same operation plan, except they have convinced conservatives you can't do it. Now, personally, I think it's distasteful, but you know what? It's kind of where we are. But damn, a few mouse clicks, the right hashtag, and doing something, and you realize you can change the world. And at more times than ever, you can actually move a president. Which leads me to the SAFE Act, by the way. Now, if you want to go back in time, okay, I did a special program on the SAFE Act, okay? Now, what does the SAFE Act stand for? Safeguarding American Voter Eligibility Act. First off, let's look at the rules of naming laws, naming acts, and naming committees, okay? If we were a part of a group that wanted to rape kids, and we were these demon rat bastards, you probably come up with a committee for expanding kids' horizons to fun field trips. They're going to name it exactly the opposite of what it is. Look at every Democrat organization claiming to save the country. It's all backwards. Well, I'm going to tell you the SAFE Act sounds good, but the SAFE Act doesn't have the teeth it needs. I'm going to set that aside for the moment. Okay? Now, Chuck Schumer, this should tell you. Now, personally, it's a lot of political theater, right? It's a lot of political theater. But Chuck Schumer is basically saying, we're going to shut down government if you don't stop voting for secure elections. If you think you're going to stop illegals from voting, we're going to teach you, we're going to shut down the government. Please do. Man, we came so close last time. You know, it only has to go past 60 days. Anytime they threaten to shut down the government, and I'm sorry for you guys that work for the government, but anytime they threaten to shut down the government, you should encourage everybody, let's hope it happens 60 days. Because what happens is when they get past that official 60-day mark, all bets are off and the president has full control. So let's say that the government had the bullshitting and screwing America committee, and you had all these $1 billion being allotted to it of the bullshitting and screwing America committee. And we went into a government shutdown. And you're shutting it down because you want to stop the bullshitting America screwing committee. Well, if it doesn't reach 60 days, even though they wanted to fund it, it's going to come back online legally. But if you can get past the 60 days of not funding it, an interesting thing happens is it triggers a law that says, well, that must not have been useful anyway. And the president, without everybody else, gets to go, okay, permanently gone. But what's the moral of that story? If people don't want to be uncomfortable for 8 hours because I just got to watch the Super Bowl, I just got to see what the score is, I want to see Bad Bunny in a dress, do you think we can stick with anything that lasts 60 days? Therein lies what I call the government rig. And it's horrible, but let's think about it. When the government pays your paycheck, and just answer, when the government is what pays your paycheck, do you ever want the government to shut down? Answer honestly. Whether it's welfare, whether it's benefits, whether it's anything, whether you're a government employee, if they pay your paycheck, do you ever want the government to shut down? You see the catch? You don't want it shut down when there's bad people running it. And you don't want it shut down when there's good people running it. Why? Because you're a slave to the system and you're fucking living paycheck to paycheck. So many people never realize that that too is a form of control of the American people. Nobody ever looks deep enough to understand. All you hear is Dems want big government, Republicans don't. Do you understand why Dems want big government? They want that operation that would take 10 people to have 100 people, because that's 80 more people who are not going to vote against their own paycheck. It's all slavery. It is all slavery. Whether you work on the roads, whether you work in the forest, whether you work in the buildings, it is all power and control. And they do it in excess, which is why this SAVE Act is so important. Do you know? I'm going to show you something. It's going to take me 2 steps here, but I'm going to show you something that's going to rock your world. Okay, 1 second. I got to get it from one place, send it to another place. Okay, let me see here. I got to go. Where do I have to go? I have to go. And yes, I talked myself through this. I'm sorry, but it's my stupid way of doing it. Okay, hang on. I got to go here. And this is the file. Let me see if it downloads. Okay, I got the file. Now I've got to... how do I do this? 1 second. This is worth the wait. Don't run off. This one's gonna kick your ass. Hang on, here we gotta go. Whoop, wrong one. Gotta go because it's on my mobile. I hate doing shit on my mobile, but okay, gotta go here. 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 Gotta attach a file. Where the fuck is the file now? Images, documents. Oh, come on. That's the bitch. Hang on. Let me do it another way. Sometimes, here it is. I've got to, come on, I've got to open it. Now I've got it. I've got to download it. I've got it there. Got it in my downloads. Going back to email. This is worth it, folks. Don't run. Trust me. Because I'm going to show you something that's going to rock your world. File. There we go. Okay. I just sent it to myself. Let me get it from this system. I'm going to show you how this works. It's slavery. But when you understand the mechanisms of this slavery, it's just like, holy shit. I get it. I see it. I understand it. 1, 2. Come on. What the hell? Bear with me, damn it. You would think I could send something to myself and it'd be easy enough. Oh, I'll send it to 2 accounts. Are you there? It says you're there. You're there. Now I'm sending you. Is it going? It went. There we go. I apologize for this, folks, but I'm telling you it's worth it. Okay, I got to get to one slide, and then I got to screen save it. And this will tell you the whole freaking story right here, which is why we're talking about the SAVE Act. This has to do with the SAVE Act. Now, the SAVE Act is basically saying that you're going to have ID, okay? You're going to have the ID to come in and vote, and it may have to be on one day. Now, I have issues with the ID because the ID is not tight enough. You can still come in with the college ID, and we know that they give those illegals in many ways, okay? Here's one. Here's 2. Oop, I got it the wrong way. Here's 2. The fact of the matter is, if it wasn't for illegals, the Democrat Party would be over. If you were to go back prior to Donald J. Trump in his first run, you will find media trying to tell you that the Republican Party is over. You can go back 2015, 2014, prior to Trump, they were telling you the Republican Party is about to die. The reality is in reverse. The Democrat Party is about to die. Now, part of why I'm covering the SAVE Act is because Schumer has basically said, we're going to shut down the government. We're going to shut down the government because the SAVE Act is nothing more than Jim Crow 2.0. It will disenfranchise millions of Americans. Every single Senate Democrat will vote against any bill that contains it. Speaker Johnson should tell SAVE Act Republicans to stand down, or else this shutdown will be on them. Have you noticed that? Get ready for the truth. You ready? Part of the SAVE Act, in practice and theory, you must show a valid ID, and you must be an American. Remember me telling you about motor voter? Get ready. Here are the states with motor voter automatic. Here are the states with motor voter automatic. Now, what do you notice looking at this? By the way, this is the work of Seth Keshel. Great work. When you look at this map, these are the states with automatic motor voter. What you're seeing is they're almost exclusively Democrats. Ironically, the ones that are red, the areas that are red, are the ones we fight over, the swing states. Now, what we know, Chuck Schumer, I'm going to say it again. The SAVE Act is nothing more than Jim Crow 2.0. It disenfranchised millions of Americans. Every single Senate Democrat will vote against any bill that contains it. Speaker Johnson should tell Republicans, the ACT Republicans, to stand down or else the shutdown's on them. Now, here's where most of the illegals, if not all, get put on the motor voter. It automatically registers them to vote. So these are the states with automatic voter registration. This is what drops the illegals to the rolls. Now, do you notice that they're predominantly, almost exclusively Democrat, and that the ones that are even red are the ones that are shifting over and becoming Democrat? What if I showed you the states that don't allow it? Do you get the point yet? Do you understand the point yet? Motor voter, I told you this. Nobody has done more training on motor voter than me. For 6 years, I've trained you on motor voter. Here is the data. The very states that it came down to in 2020 that did all the shenanigans are the red ones that are going blue. And if you look at motor voter, it's almost exclusively blue. But if you look at the states that refuse it, only New Hampshire has laws, even though they have motor voter, right? They don't have it. They're still blue. One, do you understand the game yet? The Democrat Party would not exist if this cheating was stopped. In fact, etc. You say, well, we can't prove that the illegals are getting registered. That's not true. See, what we don't do and what the GOP is not teaching you to do is to do it correctly. Georgia has proven that, in fact, there are non-citizens registered to vote on their voter rolls, and nearly half of those have cast ballots in multiple previous elections. It's been proven. Pennsylvania, one cursory look, found 11,198 non-citizens registered to vote. Most of them voted in previous elections. You know where else this has been found? It got found in Oregon, got found in Alabama. It's all over the place. But it takes the president, and I'm telling you it's under the Infrastructure Act, that if he gets tough, and our elections are critical infrastructure. And if he swings the bat right, he can force, under critical infrastructure, he can force every one of the illegals that have dropped down to be revealed, and they can be removed. Right now, the states aren't cooperating. But under critical infrastructure, U.S. Code 42, 5195C, subsection E. You understand why I say burn the voter rolls? Do you get it yet? You get it yet? I'll show you the states. I'll show you how to do it. But you get the states that doesn't even have that one hook, and there you go. You want to understand how they wag us as a country? There it is. Here are the states with electronic voter registration. They're blue, and the ones we fight over, Michigan, Georgia, all of these. It's the way they turn them blue. It's illegals. That's why they're doing it. They're importing their votes. That's the loophole. But you take the states that don't do that shit. And now you understand why Schumer and his shit fight against this, why they stand against it. And you should be freaking livid with the Republicans and Thune who are refusing to bring this up to a vote. They reveal who they are and who they really work for when they do this. President of the United States under critical infrastructure can do anything and everything he needs to protect it. If he had to shift $1 billion just to do this under critical infrastructure, he can. And by the way, it includes voter registration systems and related election databases. The question is our government and our president going to play to win? I'm going to show you if I could wave my magic wand, and this is why I'm asking you to use that hashtag. We've got a State of the Union coming up. And I think in front of the world, President Trump should basically say, under critical infrastructure, here's what we're going to do. And that's why you've got to get that hashtag, burn the voter rolls. We've got to make it go. Let me basically tell you what I was saying. And if I was President Trump, why I would say it. Listen to this. And it should be something you share. I'll be right back. Can't undo it. That's number one. So the president does not have to declare, hey, I want this under critical infrastructure. It is done. All the president does, he has to ask nobody's permission. None. Zero. He just has to do it. All these states have been showing illegals on the voter rolls. All these states have been showing the massive numbers of people that are on the voter rolls that shouldn't be there. They are showing the motor voter crisis that put this on. He doesn't need to do any of this. It's already done. It means he has sole responsibility and fiduciary duty to protect the United States of America. And all he has to do is say, I have determined that our critical infrastructure in the United States of America under our elections has been compromised. We have evidence, state after state after state. Therefore, I am stating effective immediately, because we cannot guarantee the integrity of our voter rolls. We are immediately shutting down the voter rolls. Now, this will not affect your ability to vote. If you are an American citizen and you have a valid ID and you are a registered voter, this will not affect your ability to vote. This in no way blocks anybody's vote. But we cannot guarantee your vote will count. We cannot guarantee your vote will not be canceled by the vote of an illegal. Therefore, we are taking measures to protect you, the American people. And the only way we can do that is to temporarily block the use of the nation's voter rolls under critical infrastructure, Code 42. The elections will still go exactly as they've always gone. You will be able to vote. If you are an American citizen and can legally vote, you will be able to vote. And it won't matter if you're gay or straight black, brown, or purple, you will still be able to vote. But in order to protect you, your rights, your liberty, your freedom, America's laws, and America's Constitution, you're going to have to do your part. And you are going to walk in to vote in the midterms, because we cannot guarantee you that our systems are clean enough that your vote won't be compromised. And we don't want anybody's votes compromised. Therefore, in participating with this country, you'll simply take your ID during the midterms and you will go in and vote. We hope you understand that this is to protect you, because we know, whether it's Democrat, Independent, Republican, or otherwise, that our nation's voting structure and system and its integrity is important to you. And just like every Democrat says, we don't want any suppression of the vote. We don't want anybody votes harmed. We don't want anybody, well, their vote canceled because they voted illegally. Therefore, in order to protect every single citizen of this nation, as part of critical infrastructure, we are immediately shutting down the use of our voter rolls because we know they have been compromised. We are beginning an investigation in every single state of each voter roll. And as my power of the president, I assure you, we will make sure that our voter rolls, before they come back online, are safe and secure. But you do not vote because you're on the voter rolls. You vote because you're an American citizen. So with this temporary suspension of the voter rolls, it does not block your opportunity to vote. Nothing changes that. You are an American citizen. You will be allowed to vote no matter what city, what state, or wherever you are. We're going to protect you. We're going to protect this country. And now it's up to you to do your part to get out in the midterms, bring in your ID, and make sure you vote. We will get to the bottom of this, and we will protect every single citizen with no regard for race, color, or creed. And that's my job as President of the United States of America. We hope to make it fast. We hope to get it done. But be prepared. This may happen in the midterms. But I assure you, as long as I'm president, we will get it fixed and we will bring these back online. That's the message President Trump has to deliver. Clip it, send it. So we do have to get rid of the voter rolls. I want to, by the way, I'm going to show you something nice here. Little cleanse your brain and refresh your soul here in a minute. But I want to point something out. And I need you to kind of understand how this works. When you have all of these people online, conservative broadcasters included, or election people, Jovan's a grift. He's a fake. He's a fed. He's a grifter. I want you to understand what they're really doing. You should measure me by me educating you and delivering the goods. And that's when I show you stuff like this. These are the motor voter states. I've done countless hours on motor voter and how the rig works. I've told you this is the loophole. You see how they control the states that control us. You see how some of the states that are swings, they are taking over and turning blue. This is motor voter right here, snapshot. Here it is for states that don't have it. You get it? So every one of those people that will put, and they'll never face me, they'll say it, they'll never face me live. They'll never face me live because their job is only to damage. See, there's a certain amount of people, oh, I heard of that Jovan, he's a grifter. They cannot afford America to know this. They cannot afford for America to know this. I'll share these over on my Telegram and my Twitter. This is what they can't afford America to know. And this is why Republicans included are fighting this SAVE Act and not doing it, because it does have some mechanism in it that will help us. But the president has more power than he's probably being told. But here it is, folks. This is just data. So I guess I'm such a grifter and such a fed and such a stuff. I'll show you the truth because I'm a fucking retard backwards. Give me a break. Let me give you an example. When somebody doesn't matter to the fight, well, they just don't fucking matter. And that's why the system attacks us so much. Let's hope the UN goes down. And by the way, you've got to fight this head on. If the president uses his power that is already granted, this shit will stop fast. Our country will reflect exactly what our country is. But President Trump has to act. That is why you're going to have to raise a finger. You're going to have to do things you're not used to doing, like using a hashtag, downloading videos, taking screenshots, and sending it out. But this must be everywhere. We've got to get it everywhere. And my hope and prayer is that President Trump adopts this, puts everything in place. He has all the time he needs. He's got about 20 days. And get this ready for the State of the Union. Get up there, knock it out of the park, and bring down the fire and bring down the House for doing what's right for American citizens. With that, I'm going to leave you with something nice. I'm going to leave you with something really nice. I'm going to clean your palate, right? I'm going to remind you first, we've got to fight. That's why they've padded up Kamala. In 1 minute, I'm going to show you something really nice right after this.
Not fixing 2020 will damn our nation forever. The historic Maricopa County full forensic audit effort processed 20,895,610 digital and forensic images of varying formats, resulted in 208 million individual evidence-proof files. The system processed over 58 billion forensic measurements, resulting in over 2 trillion individual base computations. No hopium, no hype, just hardcore forensic evidence. Please make sure the Maricopa County Full Forensic Audit Archives survive. Donate now. So if you want what happened in the 2020 election fixed, then please donate to protect and secure this historic evidence. We can't do it without you. We need you. America needs you.
Have you ever wondered how animals react to music?
You know who I am.
This man wanted to find out in a unique experiment.
You know I can let you.
And one animal species had a truly surprising reaction.
Slide through my hands and wild horses couldn't drag me away. And wild horses will ride them someday. I know it started 2 hearts in 1 home. I know it's how we argue, we both stubborn, I know. But oh, sweet creature, wherever I go, you bring me home. Sweet creature, when I run out of road, you bring me home. You bring me home. Let me photograph you in this light, in case it is the last time that we might be exactly like we were before we realized we were sad of getting old. It made us restless. It was just like a movie, it was just like a song, when we were young. Just like an angel, your skin makes me cry. You float like a feather in a beautiful world. I wish I was special. You're so fucking special. Oh, but I'm a creep. I'm a window. What the hell am I doing here? 'Cause I don't belong here. No, I don't belong here.